Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look at the game Rome. It's a GMT game published, but with a designer whose name is quite familiar on the Geek, this Rainer Knizia. Does a lot of card games or games involving cards, and this is one like it. Now this actually is 3 separate games. All look fairly small, and anybody who's familiar with them is saying, and with my playthroughs, is saying, you can't do this solitaire. Well, I'm sure going to try, but let me go through the rules for this particular one, which is Hannibal versus Rome, covering, I guess, probably the extent of the Punic Wars. It's not really clear. Might just be the third. Okay, so you have a number of wooden pieces. Some of them to be legions or soldiers. And you got red ones for the Romans and blue ones for Carthage. And you have some fleets, again red and blue. And then Carthage has a special legionary army or special army for Hannibal himself, his army. And that's got an elephant on it because, of course, that's the only one that would have elephants with it or something. Okay, so the mechanics of the game are very, very simple, and very soon you'll see why you wouldn't want to play this solitaire, presumably. Okay, on your turn, and Carthage goes first, you can do one of 3 things. You can either move a legion or a fleet, and if you move a legion, it's to an adjacent land area. These are considered connected by land. You can transport it across a fleet that's on a sea area, one area. If you have no fleets, you can discard a legion and get a fleet back, and that fleet, I think, comes back where the starting fleets are, between Rome and Corsica, or between Carthage and Sardinia. Or you're allowed to pass. Pretty simple, actually. If both players pass in a row, the game ends in a draw. The goal of the game is to get one legion into the enemy's capital area, either Rome or Carthage. Movement, we've already seen, it's pretty simple. You can move to a neighboring area, or you can move across a sea area that you have a fleet on. The exception is the Special Green Army is not allowed to move onto any of the 3 Mediterranean islands. Okay? Now there are other ways to win. That's the base way. There's another way, which is by dominating the Western Med, which I'll get to in a moment. When 2 legions end up in the same space, you're going to resolve combat, and that's done by picking a card. Each player picks a card secretly, plays it down, and they're revealed. And the high value wins, the low value loses his army, or an army, from the space. If you have more than one, and you lose one, you get to keep picking cards against one another. As those cards are picked, they're discarded and put up. Once both players have picked 5 cards, though, they get their hands back. Wow! You have the exact same cards to face each other with. How are you going, how are you going to actually defeat someone? Well, it's a matter of kind of bluffing and making judgments as to which plays are most important, where you want to concentrate your point. The map is only this little segment here. That other map is used for another game, Imperium, which is also packaged in the same set. It is a multiplayer kind of Euro-type game, also using card and play as its base mechanism. One little exception to this guy gets a +1 on his combat. And you'll notice, wow, that's not fair, okay, but the Romans have an extra legion. So maybe it kind of balances out there. If you tie, both players lose a unit in a battle. So how do you win? There's 2 ways to win. One is, like I said, get your legion or an army into the other guy's capital. You don't have to actually fight him, you just have to get there. You don't have to win the battle. So if you get close enough where your next move you can make it into his capital, you're going to win unless he does something to get you out of where he is, which could be risky. So, I mean, if I make it to Cannae, well, if the Romans don't get me out of there, and they're probably only going to have one piece to do that with, one move against my one piece, well, then chances are I'm going to be able to make it into Rome without a problem, right? Okay. The other way of winning, though, is a little bit more subtle. Rome does it by having a legion in Sardinia, and either Hispania Ulteria or Mauritania, and either Sicily or Zama. You get all of those, well, you get each of those three conditions, and you win as Rome. Carthage has a similar, they have to get to Corsica, either Hispania Sicilia or Gaul, and, what's our others? Sicily or Cannae. So there's an interesting mix there where each side has locations right on the enemy's border and secondary locations that they could take instead. But what is definitely key is taking the correct island here. Getting these islands is absolutely critical, and Sicily is an important space that both people want. And then you use the combination, I guess, of the threat of getting a guy into here along with the threat of getting the three areas to try to convince the other player to make some bad card plays that allow you to win the battle that you actually needed. Alright, well, let's give it a shot and see what happens. And this is going to be kind of amusing, I think. Okay, well, I'm going to do this using the tripod. And yes, I know the angle's terrible, but that's some of the nature, and it helps keep my gut out of the picture because, as usual, I'm not wearing much. Okay, but I did want to go over some of the opening moves that I'm making. This is no strategy or anything. But I'll be discussing them strategy. But just as kind of some of the thoughts that I'm going through. So Carthage starts first. Now this unit can't go on the islands. I want to get it into play. I'm going to move to Mauritania. Rome, what are they doing? They're going to protect themselves. I'm going to move them to Corsica. Now, fleets, when they move, can move from one of these transport lines to any other transport line that's in the map. Okay. Let's see, what do I want to do with Carthage? I'll drop somebody on Sardinia to help protect her. How about Rome? Okay, now here comes something interesting. Rome could just outright attack, except they'd have to move a fleet into place here. Okay. What about Carthage? Rome. Don't want to let Carthage get too close to Rome here. I'll go again. Now it's looking kind of dangerous. Here's the problem. Rome moves here. They lose their piece, right? Presumably. Then Carthage moves in. Then Rome attacks again. Well, maybe they can guarantee killing that piece if Rome sacrifices the first piece. So that's what they're going to do. Rome's going to attack, come up with cards. Rome's choice on the cards, they have to make definite thought here. What's the possible actions? I'm grabbing a die because I'm going to need that for my decision making. Carthage has to choose, well, I'm not going to play my 5 because I want that for Gallia. But am I going to play the 4 or something less? And that's what I'm going to look at here And I've chosen Carthage's card. And now comes Rome's choice. Rome definitely doesn't want to play their 5 here. They're perfectly willing to lose this. However, do they want to play a good card or not? Well, so here's the problem. Carthage does. So I played my cards. They get flipped up. And it's a tie, right? Carthage gets +1, Rome does not. They're both losing their pieces. And that probably worked out pretty badly for Carthage. And then these go face down so you can't remember who did what. That did not work from Carthage's point of view. Okay, well, they're going to send another unit over. Rome is as well. Carthage has problems. I'll move here. Rome will move a fleet. Carthage has problems. Of course, the Sardinia thing, you can't win without that. Carthage moves forward. Rome moves to Sicily. Carthage moves forward. Rome again is going to play the block here. Okay, what do we got? Well, let's see. Carthage has no guarantees anymore. Do they want to win this battle? Maybe, maybe not. But if they win it, or they don't want to necessarily do it with their best card. They picked their card. Does Rome want to win this? Yes, Rome wants to win this. But do they want to use their best card? Probably not. Choices are laid. Rome played a 5, Carthage played a 1. Carthage loses. Now that was the Roman turn. Carthage has some potential problems. They've lost Sicily. They have to defend Hispania, Ulterior, and Sardinia. They move forward. Rome's play. Right? Yeah. Now, if Rome just advances here, they leave no defense for something that's vital to their victory. Hey, how did I get here? Oh, I got my fleets there. I can't get to Sardinia right away. Alright. I'll move a fleet to Sardinia. Now, Carthage is looking, and they're saying, I've got Romans in 2 places. I want to defend Sardinia. Make that harder to take. Rome's going to go for the win. Okay. Rome plays a card. Carthage plays a card. Rome's attack was something of a feint. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. But they've lost an army. And now Carthage gets to go. And Carthage is going to move a fleet. And note that you have 1 fleet for each area. And from what I can tell from the game, you can't, even though there's rules for losing a fleet, there are no rules for losing There are rules for gaining. Oh, when a fleet moves into a sea area, yeah. So if the fleets are in the same sea area, they get to fight. Okay. We haven't seen that yet, but I didn't even explain that. Okay, so I just moved the Carthaginian fleet. What about Rome? What do they want to do? Now, if they can make this advance on Zama, they don't need to deal with this. I'm going to go for another battle here. Pick Carthage's card. Rome's card is picked. Rome took a smaller card. The Roman fleet is lost. Now we're back on Carthage. Forward. That's constant entry area. Rome's got to move here. Carthage takes their shot. They win the fight. It's Rome's turn. They have to place here. They have to win this. Both sides get new cards. Now, Rome knows they have to win it. Does Carthage want to break even here? Yeah. Because if Carthage... And here's where you really want that green piece. When you get to this point. They tie off. They both lose a piece. Now that was Rome's turn. Carthage is going to send another army that way. Okay. Now, what does Rome want to do? Moving forward. Carthage will put a fleet in play. Rome moves forward. Carthage moves forward. If Rome can win this battle, so right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 legions, or 4 Carthage units to 1, 2, 3, 4 Roman units. It's absolutely tied, and I'm not surprised by that actually. They both have the same deck of cards. Move a unit up. Carthage has things blocked. They feel comfortable. Rome has to attack. Is this must win? See, I still gotta win 2 to get there. Must win? Huge advantage if I do, yeah. Okay. Carthage decided they must win. Rome decided they didn't want to. And I think Rome just lost the game. Okay, that was Rome's attack. Carthage moves forward. Rome moves forward. Carthage moves forward. Rome moves forward. Rome knows they cannot lose if they play the 4 card. Carthage, however, knows that Rome knows that. And says, okay, Rome's going to play their 4 card. Should I play my 1 and get some kind of advantage out of this? And that's where it comes to the gamble here. They both played what would be the choices in that case. Carthage loses a piece, but they have the better card choice, which means that now Rome's not sure that they can win this. Rome's going to move here. Now, if Carthage doesn't win this, they have to move here. Rome moves here, and then they have to win the next one. I don't think it matters. Rome's choices. Rome wants to win it, but yeah, they think the cards are tied anyway. I don't think it matters either way. Carthage gets another peace victory, kills the Roman fleet, and now Carthage moves forward. A Roman unit kills the Carthaginian. And now it's going to be Rome's turn. And yes, I know, this is probably really uninteresting. Except that there's this psychotic guy playing something that's obviously not meant to be solitaire. Okay, Carthage made the attack there. Rome knows that they can fight the next round. They have to win a naval battle to get through here, and they're way down in fleets. However, they have an extra legion. Move forward. Carthage does not want to move forward. Where's this guy? He's here? I think so. Oops. Roman card here. Do I have a card here? Both players have their full deck. Now, Carthage wants to win this, obviously. You always want to win, right? But they got to save a piece to win this battle, too. And in order to do that, and they may have just lost the war, card. Does Rome need to win this? I don't know. Carthage played a fairly large card. Rome threw out a light one. They end up dying. Now Rome gets to go. Now, Carthage moves their fleet forward. They need to win this. Does Rome need to win this? Yes. Because Rome has nothing they can stop things with. Ends up a tie, both players playing fives. The fleets go. Now that was a Carthaginian attack. The Romans get to go. We have to pull back. Carthage moves a fleet into place. Rome pulls back again. Carthage attacks. Carthage loses. Now what? There's only one Carthaginian legion left. Rome does not know if they have the best army anymore because my brain is addled. So they're in, they go. To tie. Rome will win this game because they just have to move forward. Carthage can't convert fleets into armies. Game's over, man. What do I think? Well, I think it's fairly balanced. I think there's a lot of interest in it. And, you know, for something this tiny, it's given a 10-minute play time, and I think that's about right if people hurry and run through it. I took longer, obviously, but not a lot longer. You know, it's a cute kind of thing that you could bring and play at a coffee house or whatever. What's kind of iffy about it? Well, you're only using this much of the map. Yes, this will fit on almost any table, but, you know, if you had a really, really tiny space, like an airplane tray or something, the game is small enough that it would fit on an airplane tray, but this board would not. Now, can you backfold it? No, it's not designed to backfold in that direction. So there you have it. Hope that was amusing.